I'm Jessica, and I work for the City of Worcester's Cable Services Department. I've been helping my friends at the Worcester Senior Center get the remote programming that you've been enjoying so far onto your TV or computer. Since many of you have been stuck inside and haven't been able to enjoy nature, today we thought we'd bring the nature to you. The following video, A Paddle Around Piper Cove, has been brought to you by the Squam Lakes Association in Holderness, New Hampshire. Squam Lake is the second largest inland lake in New Hampshire, and you might recognize it. It's where the movie On Golden Pond was filmed with Henry Fonda and Katharine Hepburn. A Paddle Around Piper Cove is one of the many videos that you can enjoy on the City of Worcester's YouTube channel. So until we can see each other again, please remember, eat right, stay hydrated, and stay healthy. Now, come with me and let's go for a nice peaceful paddle on Squam Lake. Wow, wasn't that a beautiful paddle along Piper Cove? We're so lucky the Squam Lakes Association shared that video with us, and they sent some more I'd like to show you. But before I do, I want you to remember the Senior Center staff is always there for you. All you have to do is call 508-799-1232, leave a message, and someone will call you back as soon as possible. So let's go enjoy the lake.
Through primrose tufts in that green bower, the periwinkle trailed its wreaths, and 'tis my faith that every flower enjoys the air it breathes. The birds around me hopped and played, their thoughts I cannot measure, but the least motion which they made, it seemed a thrill of pleasure. Now dance the lights on lawn and lea, the flocks are whiter down the vale, and milkier every milky sail. On winding stream or distant sea, where now the seamew pipes or dives, in yonder greening gleam, and fly the happy birds that change their sky, to build and brood that live their lives, from land to land. A light exists in spring, not present on the year, at any other period, when March is scarcely here. A color stands abroad on solitary fields that science cannot overtake, but human nature feels. It waits upon the lawn, it shows the furthest tree, upon the furthest slope you know, it almost speaks to you. Then, as horizons step or noons report away, without the formula of sound, it passes and we stay. A quality of loss affecting our content, as trade had suddenly encroached upon a sacrament.
Oh, hi, didn't see you there. I'm Maggie, I'm an LRCC member here at the Squam Lakes Association, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to do some leaf printing. So, the first thing that you're going to want to do is go outside and collect anything that you want to make a stamp of. So the most popular is leaves, but you don't just have to use leaves. You can use tree bark and stuff like that to get different textures. So essentially what we're going to do is, like I said, we're going to be turning these leaves into stamps to put onto our clothes. So the fabric that you use should be cotton or anything that's going to get damaged by bleach. And so we're going to press the leaf into it, let it sit there for a little bit, and then when we lift it up, we'll have a great stamp. So first you're going to need a couple supplies. The first and most important one is soft scrub bleach. Now, if you don't have soft scrub, liquid bleach probably isn't going to work so well, so I really recommend that you use the soft scrub. And that's just because it's a little less abrasive on the fabric that we're going to be doing. So, I'm going to take this leaf, and you don't really want to glob it on there too much, because when you press down on it, if there's a lot of globs, it's going to seep out of the edges and you'll just get a messy stamp. And if you're using leaves, you're going to want to put the soft scrub on the side that has the veins, because you will most likely get those textures too. And I also like to paint the stem, but that's probably where you have to be careful the most about things globbing up. So you want to be generous, but you also want to be even. Okay, so I think that guy is good. So The next most important thing that you're gonna need to do before we put the stamp on is you're gonna wanna have something like a magazine inside to prevent the bleach from going through to the other side of your garment. So I have my magazine under, which also helps create a flat surface and make sure that any dust and debris is off my fabric. And then I just place it exactly where I want it. And so that I don't get bleach on my hands, I'm just using a piece of cardboard to press this in, and this is also going to even out the weight of your hands. And you just press down, and you can hold it for about 30 to 60 seconds. It shouldn't take too long. You can do this on denim too, but if you have denim, you're gonna want more soft scrub on whatever stamp you're using, and you're gonna wanna hold it there for longer since it's a tougher fabric. Okay, so now we're gonna take off the press and see how our stamp looks. So if you have little ones, you should either do this part for them or they can wear gloves while they're doing this so they don't get any bleach on their hands. And then you're left with a stamp of whatever you printed. So the stamp is also going to develop over time as long as you let the bleach sit there. So usually things for it to fully dry will take about 15 minutes, but if there's a lot of globs on there, you're not going to want to wash this until everything is completely dry. So usually my rule of thumb is about 24 hours. And yeah, now you have a pretty unbelievable sweatshirt. And we're back with the finished products of our leaf printing party. So we did lots of cool things. I made myself a pair of socks. We did some hats. And you can see all of the shirts that we did as well. So a couple of tips. The thinner the fabric, the more colorful your print is going to be. And you can expect your print after you wash it to be probably about a shade or a half a shade lighter than what it actually looks like when you lift up the stencil. All right, well, join us again next time for another Share, Learn adventure.
What is a watershed? Also known as a drainage basin or a catchment, a watershed is the land that drains into a body of water. Like a big bowl or a funnel, it collects all of the water in an area and drains it into one body of water. In our case, it's the Squam Lakes. When you're out on the lake, it's easy to see the ridges that make up our watershed. Fun fact, if you've ever been on the Crawford Ridgepole Trail in the SLA's trail network, you've been right on the divider of the Squam Lake watershed. Why is a watershed important? Well, everything that lands on the ground in the watershed ultimately winds up in the water body. This can include contaminants, nutrients such as phosphorus and nitrogen, sediment, trash, even road salt. All of these can influence water quality. Looking beyond the watershed, where does the water from the Squam Lakes go? Well, after it goes through the Squam River and the Ashland Dam, the water from the Squam Lakes flows into the Pemigewasset River, then on to the Merrimack River as it goes through southern New Hampshire and northeastern Massachusetts, where it enters the Atlantic Ocean. Fun fact, the entire volume of Squam Lake is replaced every 2.4 years. This is the retention rate or flushing rate, how long it takes the entire volume of a water body to be replaced. This is influenced by different factors, including inflow and outflow and lake size. The flushing rate of Little Squam Lake is 5.8 times per year. You can see why watershed health is so important. Everything is connected, from the smallest pond to the fastest river to the deepest ocean. Smaller watersheds lead into bigger ones. For example, the biggest watershed in the U.S. is the Mississippi River's watershed. According to NOAA, it drains 1.15 million square miles of land. But the Mississippi River watershed is made up of several smaller watersheds, as you can see here. Each and every one has an impact on the water quality of the Mississippi River and the Gulf of Mexico, where they flow. How can you protect your watershed? Step 1. Conserve water. This can include turning off the tap while you brush your teeth, taking fewer and shorter showers, and fixing any leaky taps. This can save you some money while you're at it. You should also dispose of household chemicals, electronics, and other potential contaminants correctly. Finally, Plant native plant species that don't need fertilizer and pesticides that could run off into water bodies.
Oh hey, didn't see you there. Welcome to this edition of Share, Learn, Adventure, where we're going to go back to our duck goose count, which we've been keeping pretty well for the last month. So, every day at noon we come out here and count whatever waterfowl we see on the cove. And right now I just counted 10 Canada geese. They're kind of way out at the edge there. You might not be able to see them super well from here. But since we've been keeping this for the last month, it's interesting to look back and see how the waterfowl on the cove have changed since early April. So when we first started counting, we were seeing a lot of hooded mergansers, which are really early returning birds, but also some of the last to go away in the fall. We saw lots of those guys, and then we had a huge influx of Canada geese, and we're seeing about 24 of them every day for 4 or 5 days. After that, the Canada geese kind of stuck around, and then we started seeing ringneck ducks move in, as well as common mergansers. So common mergansers will probably wind up nesting somewhere in the area. This is part of their year-round range. But the ringneck ducks are migrating, just passing through. So we haven't seen any for the last couple days, and that's probably because they're going all the way up to northern New Hampshire, northern Vermont, Maine, or Canada right now, and just passing us by. So it was really cool to hang out with them for a while they were here. And now it's kind of just down to Canada geese. We've seen a couple mallards. Every once in a while there's a common merganser out here. We're keeping our eyes peeled, and we're going to see what else stops by as the days continue to get warmer and as more waterfowl come back to this region. There's a bunch of geese out on the cove today, but they're all so far away. I know how to make them get closer. Let's chuck them some bread.
No. Elijah, you can't feed the geese bread.
I know, yeah, because bread's not good for geese. But how about beans?
No.
How about peas? I've got peas.
No.
Hold on. Geese love sardines. Trust me, they're gonna go nuts for this.
Elijah, don't feed the geese.
Why?
Because when you feed the geese, you're conditioning them to associate humans with food, and we don't want to do that. We want them to find their food all on their own. Plus, even though you might be using something that's healthy for the geese, it could add extra nutrients into the water, and that is no good for the geese, or any creature.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I buy it. This is Share, Learn, Adventure, and remember,
Don't feed the wildlife.